Welcome to Comcast Newsmakers. I'm Ken Ackerman. We're at the state capitol in Salem, where 13 new representatives make up this year's legislature. One of them, Shemia Fagan. Thank you very much for joining us. Your district is Boring, Damask, is that area?
So I'm split evenly between Mid-Multnomah and North Clackamas counties. So I have outer southeast Portland, a bit of Gresham, and the Multnomah side. And then I have Happy Valley, Damascus, and a touch of Boring on the Clackamas side.
Now, when you got here, I want you to be honest, at all intimidating?
Incredibly intimidating. When you think about the people who have walked these halls and the things that they've done, who am I to be here? That's the feeling that you have. It's an incredibly humbling experience. I'm actually a pretty confident gal, and it takes a lot to humble me, and this place really humbles me. It's an honor to be here, and it's fun.
So how do you hit the ground running as opposed to just sitting and listening for the first few months? What do you have to do?
Well, first off, sitting and listening is hitting the ground running here, because one of the most important parts of being a legislator is the public hearing. And we get a lot of talk about what we do on the floor of the House, but in fact, sitting in our committees and listening to the public come and discuss what they think about the bills that are before the legislature is basically the most important thing that we do here. And so hitting the ground running is at times sitting and listening and just being open to what the public has to say. I mean, you run a campaign, right? And you talk about all the things that you care about, and you're out there listening on the doors, and then this is the chance to come and you represent a particular amount of people, 63,000 for those of us in the House. And you have to make sure that you're constantly listening so that when people have a concern or something that's going on in the district, if their business is going to be affected. I just took a call the other day from a constituent who'd heard about a bill that was going on in the building, and she was concerned about how it was going to affect her small business. And so it wasn't on my radar screen. It isn't even before my committee, but I went and sought out the folks who were working on it and, to see what I could do to make sure that it didn't negatively affect my constituents' business.
I looked at the committees that you were given, and I said, well, which committees have you been dealt? You said, no, I got what I wanted. And one of them is Veteran Services and Emergency Preparedness. You're the vice chair. Why that committee?
Well, why not that committee? I mean, when you think about the people who are the most deserving from the standpoint of people who've given to this country, our veterans are at the top of that list. And I'm not a veteran myself, but my dad was a veteran. He's buried at Willamette National Cemetery. And oddly, when I'm not, dressed up for something like this, I actually ride a motorcycle. My husband and I are both Harley riders, and one of the ways that I've chosen to honor our veterans is by riding with the Patriot Guard Riders. And we ride at veterans' funerals, and I've done a number of those up at Willamette National. And we also do welcome homes. And so when the soldiers who are coming home from deployment, they need to be welcomed back to their country. And so we make a flag line at PDX when they come home and make sure that the first thing they see when they get off that airplane is the faces of grateful citizens.
It's interesting because you've chosen politics, you ride Harleys, you're an attorney, you're a mom, you're on the school board. That's it?
Yeah, light load this year.
Now, how do you find time for everything?
You make time. I mean, I would certainly say that being a school board member and being a mom and being a legislator in many ways are all related, because I wouldn't care about schools the way that I do if I wasn't a mom, because I have a little guy. He's only 5 months old, but the fact is he's going to be an Oregon public school student at some point, and the state of our schools to me is atrocious. We are in crisis mode. The budgets that we delivered the last year around have put our schools into crisis. The cuts that were made with this last budget are the most painful cuts possible. And if we don't deliver a budget this time that allows those cuts to stop, the next cuts could only be the most painful cuts possible, even after the last ones. And so the idea that we are now talking serious programs and serious cuts, because we were talking about those last time and those happened, and to go beyond that is something that most people can't comprehend.
Thank you so much. It was nice to learn more about you, Shemia, and we wish you the best of luck.
Thank you. I appreciate it.
All right. Thank you for being here on Comcast Newsmakers. Make it a great day.